Hi, Flosstube. It's Lisa Smith, Kindred Stitcher. Today is October 3rd, and fall happened at my house. The leaves are falling, the fall sort of mistiness, the fog, the marine layer has come in, and it's pretty glorious, let me tell you. So I actually decorated for fall at my house, and I haven't done that in years. Like, I don't know that since we lived in this house I've ever really done it. But I went out into the garage and I have, my husband built me a shelf for totes for Christmas stuff. And I have one Halloween full of costumes. And I dug through that and I thought, oh my gosh, I remember the days when my kids wore costumes and they're headed to school and they needed something to wear for Halloween, and we would just send them out to get the tote, and we kept adding to it. So it's completely full of stuff. Kind of a modge podge, some wigs, oops, sorry, I'm trying not to bump y'all. Some wigs, half of this costume, half of that costume. There's pirates, there's Wonder Woman, there's a feather boa in there. There's just tons of stuff. There's all kinds of masks, and it was fun to pal around in there, I'm just going to say. And it made me really yearn for some human interaction. Like, I really hope we have Halloween this season, but reality hits, and it's a possibility that kids won't be trick-or-treating, although they don't come to our house because we sort of live out of the city limits. So I do enjoy, though, just the festivities of the fall season. So anyway, I'm going to insert a couple clips here of this display that I worked on this morning. My husband put this shelf up for me, and it had been kind of hanging around my house for a long time. And of course I painted everything this year on the inside. The whole inside of the house almost was painted. And so I was really reluctant to put anything on the walls, to put nails in, but putting a shelf in helps sort of reduce the amount of nails that go for the seasonal switch outs. And that's what that's for, to put seasonal stuff on there. So, and then I'll also insert a clip of a hutch area that I have, and then the mantle over my fireplace, which has more of the Halloween things. I don't, like, I just have one shot. It's going to get, all the fall and Halloween is going to go up at the same time, because quite frankly, the thing I dread the most is putting all the stuff away. So here's a tour of the buffet behind where I'm filming today. If I start down at the low end here, there's just a little shaker box on top of a cake stand with another Hobby Lobby black display piece. There's lots of floral picks and shiny things and prettiness here. I love this. Where is it? That. I think that is a, Fitz and Floyd. I got that at Home Goods. And this is a Hobby Lobby sign I picked up. This is a Scarlet House. I can't remember the name of it, as is this one. Bittersweet and Pumpkins. This was a gift at an exchange, at the Midwest Exchange. This was a gift in another exchange. This is a freebie. I picked this up from Amana last year when we were there for the Midwest retreat. Isn't this cool? Hand painted, I guess you would call that like a pot pie dish. And just some floral stuff. And then over here, this I bought, there's 3 of them on here from an artist on Facebook. I'll link her below. Her name is Janet something. I think it's Farm Folk Art. She sells stuff, and it's gorgeous. This is a Blackbird Bittersweet September, I think. That one was re-released, and I put that one in. I got that frame for $5. So now I probably would frame a little bit more closely without glass, but it's done. This is from Teresa Maloon of Delaney Woods. She is an artist who, she has patterns, but she also is on Primitive Mercantile. It's a once a month thing, like on the 15th of the month. A set number of artists sell handmade goods. And this was when her pattern hadn't even come out yet. And I saw this. She had it on, I think, the Prim Stitch Society Facebook group, and I saw it. And when it went up for sale, it was like 7 o'clock my time, I think is when they go up. And I was out there immediately and bought it. I'm sure I chased a bunch of people down. Sorry for the glare. That's just a print that I picked up at a thrift store or an antique store. It's beautiful. I love it. This is by Nan Lewis of Threadwork Primitives. And she had this for sale, same thing, same Primitive Mercantile group. And I bought that one immediately too. That's her model. I think, that's the first time she stitched that. Isn't this beautiful with a little wool on it? It's so cute. Then I've got a couple of sweet little, I love gray squirrels. Don't you love gray squirrels? They are ornaments. And then behind them is With Thy Needle and Thread, Fruitful Labor. I'll put it across here if I don't get that right. But this was a blast to stitch. I loved it. And sorry, I'm just going from the side so I can reduce the glare for you. I thought this for the longest time. I don't know what I thought this was. Then I figured out it was a vase with a pumpkin in it. It was a blast to stitch that. So this is the buffet area. And then I'm going to scroll. I'm going to move. Here is I got this from my sister for free. I'm going to paint it one of these days, but I haven't done it yet. So I have this handmade banner. I can't remember where I got that. And sorry, I hit the wrong button. I don't have any stitched pieces up here, but this tray my aunt painted a long time ago, and I have that, so it's so much fun. And that same artist who did the burnt wood piece I showed you earlier, Janet, she also painted this. And it's got a farm scene. It's all sepia tones, and it does go all the way around. It's a pretty cool piece. Okay, so this is obviously above the fireplace. It's the Halloween section. And hopefully I can hold this without disconnecting you guys. This piece, I don't remember the name of the artist of the pattern. I stitched it probably 20 years ago. Niecy Lynn saw it on my video one time and she's like, where did you get that pattern? And I honestly don't remember. I think I looked it up. If I can find it, I'll link it below. I'll put the name below, but it's out of print. This one is Scarlet House, and it is Jack something. Obviously, it's got the name Jack on it. This I bought from a local painter artist. Isn't that cute? She did a great job capturing the kids. I just can't stand how cute that is. And I've got just regular decor. This is a Leisure Arts book. The Witch and the Owl, I think is the name of it. Other people have said that they've stitched it too when I've shown this in previous videos. So this was a lot of fun to stitch. I think this fabric, when I picked it up, I remembered it's very drapey. So I think it's probably a Jovelin maybe, or a Lugana. And I want to say this was at least 2/2. At some point it might have been 3/2. I was just following the instructions. I didn't know any better then. And then I painted these in a couple, like last year or the year before. I can't remember. Time gets away from me. And then this, isn't this cute? This is actually which way does it open? I can't get it to open. Anyway, it's a candle holder thing, and so all the stars glow when you put a little candle in there. It's super cute. I got this forever ago at probably Joann's. It's when they were super popular, and I got this other one at the same time. This one here is another candle holder. So sometimes it's fun just to turn the candles on and sit back and enjoy the fun display. It was one shot to do it all, and I worked on it this morning because my husband is at the property picking up the generator and some hunting supplies because he's going hunting on Monday for a week. So when he goes hunting, the first week I love. I go to Hobby Lobby, I go to Michael's, I go to all my favorite places, the quilt shops. I vacuum at 10 o'clock at night and I don't worry about it. I clean the house. I really enjoy the first week. The second week is all right too. I usually go to my mom and sister's in between and I have a weekend there, so I really enjoy that. But by the last hunting trip, and he's usually, over the course of about 6 weeks, he's probably gone about half that time. I really start to miss him and I wish he would come home. So I'm in the honeymoon phase. I'm in the first week and I have a list a mile long. I have so many things I want to get done. Today, I just need to get the video done first because he'll be back tonight. So I'm filming in my dining room, not my craft room. I'm filming in my dining room. And I really like that I can put all my stuff on the table in front of me. That's a bonus. I really like that. And it's inside the house. So there's that. Let's talk a little bit about, we're going to start with giveaways today. So I had quite a few last video, but I had to redraw this one. This one was from the video before last. So Necessary, it's really a darling book. I made this for my mom, a different colorway, but this has really, really cute things in it. And I redrew, and the new winner is Nanette McDougall-Dykes. So Nanette, I'm going to put my email address below. I'll comment on your comment. Please reach out to me. Let me know what you won and send me your address. Also from last video, I think I'm getting the videos right here, Angels Remembered. I drew for the last video for this one, and the winner was Rebecca Sherman. Rebecca, I haven't heard anything from you. Please email me below. If I don't hear from you by my next video, I'm going to redraw for this one. There are a lot of patterns in that book. Then I've got these, right? So you had a lot. This was fun. I love giving stuff away. The Black Sheep. That's what I asked you to comment if you wanted this one. Black Sheep goes to Barb Gunther, Guenther. The Ornaments. Where is that one? Here we go. Ornament goes to Susan Musgrave. This will be fun. You'll enjoy stitching all of those. The Homeward Bound. So I thought this was interesting. Several people commented about this particular designer, Emmy Bishop, that they either knew of her or hadn't seen her for a long time. I'm not as familiar with her. So this one went to Aletha Tingy or Tingy, T-I-N-G-E-Y, Homeward Bound. And the Thanksgiving one, which was Pass the Stash, goes to Barb Lost and Floss. Barb, you won this one. Thanksgiving. The Turkey by Homespun Elegance goes to Quilt Ma Sue Goodin, Goodin. And the magazine, Heartstrings, this one with all the little Santa and patterns, goes to Carol Lorion, Lorion. And then this one caused a lot of comments too, the Stitcher's World with Professor Fisby goes to Marsha Cruz. I think Marsha even looking for these for a while. So congratulations to all the people who won this week. Again, please email me at the email listed below. Tell me what your name is too. Sometimes these names aren't obvious. Usually, I think this week they all were, but sometimes there's like, Stitcher so-and-so, and it's hard to know. Okay, so this bag I bought from Lisa Nash Stocklin, Sirena Stitching. She is on Instagram, And I had bought this to use for my Women of the Mayflower. I was in my craft room after the last video of cleaning up, and I am overrun with project bags. I had no business buying anymore, but I really liked this one. But I think I'm going to share it with you. So if you would like this bag, please write Mayflower in your comment. Isn't that beautiful? That fruit fabric is gorgeous. Just write Mayflower in your comments, and I will draw it at the next video. And hopefully y'all who are stitching it are making some progress. Oops, sorry, I bumped you all. I have not started it. So my ship has not left. My Women of the Mayflower are stranded in their port of departure, and I don't know. We'll see what gets done. My New York mug when my boys and I went to New York. It was a fun trip. So what have I been working on? I have been sewing the heck out of project bags. I posted a whole bunch a couple weekends ago. I have several sewn that are, I have several of these that are sewn, and I have 3 others. These aren't sewn yet, but this is a fun pattern with the crow, and on the inside's purple. It's awesome. And I have 2 more, besides those 2, I have 2 more fabric lines. I'm going to, after the video today, continue to sew and get those done so I can get them up probably tomorrow. I'm having a great time with these. I just love these. I'm like, who thinks of this fabric? You know, just such artistic people to come up with that. And I love the contrast, you know, with the orange and the black, and these little fobs are adorable with the different color buttons on there. So that's what I've been working on. Last weekend, we went to my mother-in-law's house. She and her brother were looking at her front yard, and she doesn't have a big front yard. It's pretty small. And they decided that the soil wasn't very good. It drained too quickly, so she was constantly having to water it. And so they just tore it out. They just tore out their yard. They just tore out her yard and called my husband because they realized it's really hard to put a new lawn in. It's a lot of work. So we ended up going down there, and I'll do anything for my mother-in-law. I just love her. So we bought some turf on the way. Now, she lives on the coast in Oregon, and we lived there for 10 years. And the people at the coast, they don't use turf. They just put grass seed down. But there's a lot of grass farms or turf farms on the way. So we just stopped and bought turf because that's what they asked for. But we spent quite a bit of time last weekend working on that. I didn't get as much stitch time as I normally do. And what I worked on, because I didn't want to, I don't want to be schlepping a bunch of stuff around. I just took a little small. This is a hands-on design. This is one of the Mania starts I had this year. So I'm still kind of pecking away at that. I really like having a stash of started smalls that I can pick up on a whim. I will do that again next year for sure. I might do another round of Patriotic because I have a whole nother month's worth for sure. And this is how much I got done. I finished the words, and I started the red, and I did the blue. That was it. I think that was just, I stitched on the way down, I drove on the way back. So not a lot of stitching last weekend. When I was home though, last weekend and a few days this week, so my rotation last week was my brunette whip, which is my whips that are like have a darker, more mysterious color palette. And then I have blonde whips, which are my lighter, airy ones, like my G Leger, which is at total framing right now. And I am anxiously awaiting some options for framing. They had a sale, so they're really busy, but they just do a fantastic job. I'll thank you to Brenda from Brenda and the Serial Starter for turning me on to that. So I worked beyond my 1 week rotation for my brunette because I was so close to finishing English Garden. I just went ahead and finished it. So she is this is no joke, a lot of stitches, a lot of stitches. And I was at the top here, these two bands, if I can do this, these two bands here, and you know, it's almost full coverage. So there is, people ask me, are there specialty stitches in here? There's not even one specialty stitch in this. It looks more intimidating than it is, and probably because she does such a fantastic job with graphic design. This really looks a lot like it could be a quilt. Each band has definitely different colorways, but this one here, look at the diagonal stripe and what pulls your eye to that, right? It's that contrast. There's nothing specialty about the stitches at all. They're just X's. I love the way that she does use the graphic elements in the bands here, and she offsets it with these sort of organic round design elements like the bird and the loopy alphabets and the pretty floral bouquets. So it's a very balanced piece in that respect, and I think that's why I like it so much. I am going to put my initials at the bottom. She and her design have put them up next to that flower at the bottom. I think I will do that. I do not normally put my name or initials on elements unless I stitch it into the design. And that might be something that I change over time. I just, I don't know why I don't do it. Quite frankly, I don't have a good reason for it. I love her. This is stitched on 40 count vintage Tundra by Lakeside Linens. And it was just an absolute joy to stitch. I have a frame picked out at a craft store where my mom and sister live. I've had a lot of pieces framed there. They did a pretty good job. So when I was there with Lori, we were looking at frames for one of her pieces, and I was looking ahead trying to figure out if I could find something I thought would be good for this. So I think it's going to be something that I'm going to pick. We'll see though. We'll see when I set it on there. The other whip, so I finished that one on Wednesday. So I was partway through the week on my blonde rotation. So I picked up Winter Rose. This is my current whip that I'm focusing on. And this one is going really fast. I thought the house would take a long time. It's really not taking a long time. Fingers crossed this one comes out soon from Brenda with I Needle and Thread, Brenda Gervais. This is stitched on 40 count fresco by Picture This Plus. It's one of my very favorite fabrics. I'm using the four colors with a couple of changes. I think the white I'm using chalk because I really wanted the white to pop for the snow and the vase and the curtains, and then there's a vase on top. And the conch by Weeks is the color of the house. And somebody asked me, is your conch really that kind of a pinkish color? I'm like, it is. I bought a second skein in case I ran out of the first skein. It is, the second one was more of a tannish pink. So that's different, right? But it makes it so that my project is my project and your project is your project. And even though we stitch the same thing, the count of fabric, the color of the fabric, how we stitch all makes our pieces unique to us. And that's the same thing with painting. When I paint something, it looks different than when I'm in a painting class than the people next to me, because I use my own technique, right? I use my own way of doing it. So it's what makes it interesting, because diversity makes the world go round. So those are my whips. Those are the things I've worked on this past week. I wanted to show you a couple things. So in the display pieces, I showed you some previous fall finishes. I also have some quilted type stuff I thought I'd share. This is a table runner I made 100 years ago, and it's in a bear paw pattern. And in the center of each bear paw, I put a little button, which is fine. It works great, except it does sometimes if you put something on it, it kind of displaces that thing. But my cats are knocking on the door. But it has sort of this fall backing. And I put this on my dining room table. Well, I'm filming today, so I didn't want to have it get in the way. One of the other things I previously sewed was this quilt for my husband. Somebody said their husband was a recliner what did they say was the term? I think it was Christine from Hollis Creates? Anyway, when we sit down and watch TV, my husband's like, I'm gonna quilt to just, you know, put on me when it's cold out. So I made him this log cabin quilt. Now the quilting on this is ripping out in parts of it, so I might have to do something about that. One of the things I did for him, though, the back is all these cute acorns. He wanted something to keep his feet warm, so I put where is the end of this? Sorry. I put a foot pocket on it. And this is flannel. I love this fabric, but that's a flannel foot pocket, so it's all snuggly when he sits down to watch TV. In the winter, he puts it on him, tucks his feet in there so they're not cold. And then my kids, a couple of kids want same thing, a quilt like that, and they want foot pockets in theirs too. So I don't know. He started a thing, I think, with them. I have a few things for haul. Not a lot. I have some haul that hasn't made its way here. I might have bought some more fabric. And this is one of the things I bought because I saw this on Instagram and I about died, and I went out and bought it immediately. This is Coriander Quilts by Corey Yoder. One thing I thought was curious about this, though, I'll show you the fabrics, but this looks black to me. And I like the contrast, but when I got the quilt kit, there's no black in here. It's a pretty modern color palette. It's all very gray and peach, but it's going to be beautiful. And then all of the blocks are bigger than you think. These are the inside pieces. Oh, there's more fabric in here. Huh. These are the inside pieces to the houses. So, oops, sorry to blow you out there. There you go. So they sort of look like Baltimore quilts on the inside. Oh, I didn't open that up to see what was inside of it. More fabric. None of it was black, though. So I thought that was interesting. Even in quilting, much like cross stitch, pictures don't always necessarily look like the finished, like the materials that you have. So I got that. Kelly Stodola sent me an Instagram story. She got one too, but she got a completely different house quilt pattern and kit. And it was all dark tones. It was beautiful. So the other thing that I picked up was Tilda fabrics. And in previous videos, I have shown where I have picked up some of her books and some of her other fabric lines. And there's like this whole community of Tilda lovers online. And I understand why. Her stuff is so charming. If you love fabric, I mean, it's a little more expensive because I think she's Scandinavian, which is maybe that's why I relate, because I'm 86% Scandinavian. So anyway, I picked up some yardage of her new line. This is called Maple Valley Farm, I think. There are different colorways. This one is the umber colorway. I bought 4 yards of this because I just absolutely love this. It just looks like poppies and the pink and the brown. I love that color combination. I have a fat quarter bundle coming too. So now I just need to make some quilts. I keep buying fabric and I just need to sew. Today I'm going to sew bags. I also have a table runner cut out from some quilt squares where I decided not to make a quilt. I made some project bags out of it and I made a table runner out of the rest of it. But it needs to be quilted and put some binding on. So that's on deck too. I have another finish that I want to work on. It's a Halloween one. I got a lot to do. Aside from that haul, I got my berry of the month. Berry Dying to Stitch. I guess it's quarterly. By Erica Michaels. This one, there's another matching berry that came last time. It was Expect Less, Give More, Expect Less. So, and this one has a freebie, a Be Well freebie in with it. I have really enjoyed this this club. I think I might switch from this club to a Tilda Fabric club, though. I think that's what I'm going to do. I've got so many kits I need to work on. I'm sort of getting overrun on those. So now that I finished English Garden, I have to decide what I'm going to do. And I think in the last video I showed you my Stacy Nash Halloween at Hollyberry Farm, and I'm going to work on that one. And I'm also going to work on these are my next ones on deck. So like the Halloween, really, there's not as much of that. I think this month I'll finish both Winter Rose and Halloween on Hollyberry Farm. And I'm pretty sure that after Halloween, I'm going to move to this one, which is Sarah Chapel. I haven't stitched on this one since last year, and I absolutely loved stitching on this. I mean, look at the borders. Isn't it? Look at those vases and that red house. I've substituted a color on the outside border. I'll show you in a minute. This is a phenomenal design. It's so beautiful. So, so beautiful. I'm stitching this on 46 count straw. This is a Zweigart base by Weeks. Isn't this pretty? Oh, the flower petals are Bellswash Paprika. I tried 4 or more colors before I found this one that I really, really, really liked. And it's not like, it doesn't look red. It looks sort of a brownish, rusty color. And so when you stitch it, it looks very different than it does on the skein. And I think that's where we kind of get stuck on color conversions, is sometimes you look at the skein and you think, oh, this looks good. And you put it together and you're like, yeah, I don't know. So sometimes it takes a few times of trying before you figure out what's really going to work. But that red house, I'm building that house and I'm excited to get to that. There's that white chain link fence. I might change that to black. It's tiny stitching though, and I honestly just don't feel like ripping stuff out. I'm trying to go forward, not back. So I think that one, once I finish Halloween at Hollyberry, that'll probably be my next brunette. And then once Winter Rose Manor is done, the next one will be Abigail Colby's Work Basket. I picked this one up, I think it was off a stash unload. Now this is by Primitive Traditions, which they've been out of business, I think, for quite a while. But these are the colors, and these are the most scrumptious colors. These are Bellswash silks. Aren't those just gorgeous, gorgeous colors? So this one I will have to make. I got the basket. Vanessa Flamefingers on Instagram found this at a shop for me. I could not believe it. They picked it up and shipped it, and I gratefully paid her for that. I was so happy to have found the basket. I couldn't find it anywhere. I think she found it in Florida. It has a little fob here. It gives you instructions on how to make it. And I believe there are like some companion pieces to this. I think I have 1 or 2 of them. So it's sort of the sewing basket has all the goodies inside of it when you're done. That one that's my next one after Winter Rose Manor. And it's on my stitch 10 and 20, which, let's be honest, probably not going to get half of them done this year. This is a previous finish. This is a Blackbird. I think it had the same name as maybe that pattern up there. I don't know what it's called. You guys can look up the image. It's like, it might be Bittersweet September. I don't know. And it has this great batik, pumpkin batik on the inside. Now I make my bags with a sturdier, it's like a fusible fleece. So when I started making them, I was following the pattern, and it was with a lighter weight interfacing. But now I make the heavier stuff. What else? I've been watching, I watch Niecy Lynn. If y'all don't watch Niecy Lynn, she makes me laugh out loud. My husband's watching TV and I'll have my earbuds in. I'm watching her. I'm just laughing. She is so funny. I watched Dina Half Stitch Cross Stitch. I'll link her below. She is so sweet. I just love her. She made an amazing gift for a friend. It's like very densely stitched Raggedy Ann and Andy picture, and that's really, it's come to life. It's amazing to watch somebody progress through a project and show it from week to week. And to us, it just seems like, wow, they're fast. But to the stitcher, it's an investment of hours and hours and days and sometimes weeks. And who else have I been watching? I've watched so many people. Christy Crosshatch Quilts. I love all the stuff that she makes. And Olivia Pumpkin Hollow Quilting. Just, gosh, I watched so many. I watched Helen D. I kind of like now that my notifications, somehow I turned off my notifications from emailing me. So now I have to go into notifications and sort of see, which is great. So I don't feel overwhelmed because I can just pick and choose when I have time to watch videos. And I also watch a whole variety, maybe more people than I had watched before. So now I'm just rambling. That's all I have for today. I will probably see you in a couple weeks. Hopefully I'll have a fun little Halloween finish done. I'm getting ready to go to the Midwest retreat at the beginning of November in Iowa. It's during the election, so I hope they don't burn the airport down. I don't know, you guys. I'm looking forward to seeing my stitching friends. That's what I can say positive about that. And I just hope you get a chance to stitch all the things and are having a good time wherever that you live. I'll see you all next time. Have a good day.